Throughout our 120 years, Ford has supported our nation's armed forces and honored their selfless service to our country. The Central Ohio Ford dealers are proud to continue this tradition by investing in the work of the National Veterans Memorial and Museum in Columbus. Together, we want to share the veterans' heroic stories and introduce a grateful nation to the faces behind our forces. Please join us monthly to hear inspiring educational stories from our veterans who have gone above and beyond their call to defend freedom around the world. The National Veterans Memorial and Museum and your Central Ohio Ford dealers. Together, we will never forget.
Welcome to NVMM's Inspiring Story of Service for August. Meet U.S. Marine veteran Dani Figueroa. Dani is an artist with her own show now open just outside Washington, D.C. Some of her works were displayed at the museum as part of our recent Identity exhibition. She visited with us this spring, and we talked to her about her service, her faithful companion called Valor, and her life now as a proud veteran and proud artist. Here's Dani's story.
It's kind of faded, but there was a lot more, like you could see, where we were headed. I forget where we were. And then in the rearview mirror, you actually see all the trucks, because this was like a really long convoy, like maybe at least 20 whites plus 6 greens, 7 greens. So it was a long convoy. I joined the military after 9/11. Actually, 9/11 was really a call to duty moment for me. I was an aspiring professional soccer player at the time. I was landlocked with the rest of the country. And on that bus ride home, there was just some hard questions that I asked. And then, I just thought I could maybe make a difference in the military, and then joined. I joined the Army Reserves as a 88 Mike, a truck driver, heavy vehicle operator, and I was mobilized from late 2004 to early 2006. I was deployed for a year. And I directly transitioned from being reservist to active duty Marine Corps. I served from 2004 to 2014. I medically retired after a injury that I had during my second deployment. For me, art really stopped in 2004, 2005 when I was deployed. I just felt like it was just dark, just very, very dark. So I pushed away the things that I loved. Being on a convoy and being reactive and being in a war that was, their countermeasures were very, you plant it's remote detonated, so you never know when it's going to go off. To not have one clear, okay, and then it's done, because you don't know where something else is planted, is a very, it almost makes you more angry. Because it's like, just show your face. I'm showing up to the fight. Let's do this. It's not an in and out. Like what I expected, or my preconceived notion is like, this is X. You get rid of X and then it's done. No. Transition for me was very much a searching period. I felt I had lost more than I had gained. I had my identity as a Marine, as a leader, as such a PFT score. Like I had all of these things. I had never accepted the injuries. I had never accepted the change. I had never accepted that I'm getting out. And once that all happened, it was like I've been balancing on a stool with only one leg. All the other things that make up a life, quality, I didn't have any of that. It was just me and my record, my training jacket, my reputation. But then once I got out, I wasn't developing anything in my personal life or like a community. Everything was just centered around who I was in uniform. And to answer all the questions of who I always was out of uniform, I never dealt with until I got out. CreatiVets happened for me in 2017, which was my first time being in an artistic environment after art therapy, that I not only met other veterans and we were around each other for a considerable amount of time, but also I was learning to ask certain questions and learning to just be in the moment. There was also my time having Valor by my side, going through the 21-day trauma resiliency course and really learning the value of self-care, but also how canines live in the moment. There isn't a past or, oh, you're giving me this, so what do I owe you? Or this happened once, so it's gonna happen again. Like, there isn't this score sheet that he mentally checks. So between the self-care and in the moment living, I really thought of, what about creating with Valor? Creating with Valor, not only the literal meaning of I'll be creating with Valor by my side, but also what would it be like to create with value or with bravery? What would it be like to really do it consistently and see what happens, or to go, to reach out, to go what would it be? I won't know until I try. The creating with Valor and having him in 2020 to connect, to pay it forward, to grow through art, eventually what leads me to the present moment is being an artist in residence, having a residency that ends with a final show in Lorton, Virginia, through the Workhouse. Anyone that's interested can go to creatingwithvalor.com and join the contact list. So one more thing that I would like to share, just from an artist who I view myself as an artist, but also just kind of reaching out to other veterans who are on the fence of whether or not, like, that's not for me, or I'm not an artist and I'll never be one. Show up and try would be my encouragement, because there is not only community to be around like-minded, or just that you're giving yourself an opportunity to learn, not only from an artistic perspective. You get to learn mediums, you get to learn like maybe a little academia if you're interested in that, but really you learn about yourself, about connecting. I like to be messy, or I don't like to be messy. I like to create something and throw it away. Like, I like to just be blatant about what it is I need to say. I like to be very hidden about it. I like, whatever it is, it can be a mirror art. Whether you call yourself an artist or not, that's the point. Is when you show up, you can get connection, not only to an art medium and others, but also, and most importantly, to yourself. Like, there's always something to be said, and the only way you know how to share it is to show up.
Throughout our 120 years, Ford has supported our nation's armed forces and honored their selfless service to our country. The Central Ohio Ford dealers are proud to continue this tradition by investing in the work of the National Veterans Memorial and Museum in Columbus. Together, we want to share the veterans' heroic stories and introduce a grateful nation to the faces behind our forces. Please join us monthly to hear inspiring educational stories from our veterans who have gone above and beyond their call to defend freedom around the world. The National Veterans Memorial and Museum and your Central Ohio Ford dealers. Together, we will never forget.